So, this video is for you, Tom Bomb, because you asked me, when it came to grooves, what do I think? What do I do? What do I go to? Who's my inspiration? Truth is when it comes to grooves, I like a lot of guys like J.P. Bouvet, Mike Johnston. I like these guys because they focus on grooves. What I like about grooves, just to kind of go from the beginning, is they're unending. There's really not an end to grooves. There isn't a right way to do grooves. There isn't a wrong way to do grooves. As a drummer, this is, for anybody else who might watch this video in the process, this video, when it comes to drumming, your important job is to keep time. That is the whole point. That is your job. That's your job. If you have to keep it as simple as possible to keep time, that's your job. But at the same time, if you're keeping time, and it's now your time to, okay, well, for different songs, different groove ideas. Not bad. What I love about drums is it's not like any other instrument. You don't have to play a certain set of chords for a certain song. For the same song, you can play it so many different ways, so many different styles. That's what I love about it, is because when I play for songs or when I play for anything, I never necessarily play the same song the same way over and over and over again. Never. It's always different, because that's a part of grooving, is you get to feel the crowd, you get to feel energy, you get to feel when times when things need a decrescendo or crescendo, you can feel those times, and then you can adjust your grooves accordingly. That is the cool thing about this. Groove. What is groove? Grooves, fills. Two totally different things. Fills typically happen at the end of a bar going into the next bar. We're not really going to focus on fills. A lot of people kind of skip the groove part, they're all about fills. So grooving takes a lot. And the reason why I say that is because there's so many different ways to do grooves. And it's unending what you can do with grooves. So, take a breather from that. First thing is kind of explain some things. Ghost notes. Tom, you asked about what ghost notes are. Ghost notes, accent notes. If I were to, this is one example, ghost note is just a soft note. Accent, soft note. So if you're playing a song, that would be that ghost note. And so, not gonna lie, I'm kind of a ghost note overkiller. Still learning to control myself. But that's very important when it comes to grooves. Totally changes the whole aspect. If you just keep quarter notes and bass drum on the one, and you just change the snare, changes worlds of things. So many different ways with that. So, that's the first thing. Second thing, this is really going back to basics. But if I can show this concept now, which if there's any other drummers that actually watch this, that are knowledgeable, they might question and be like, why on earth is he showing that? Why is he trying to teach that first? Because it takes forever to actually get, but once you get it, it helps you so much more in the complex grooves. And that is this, the push-pull technique. What is the push-pull technique? Push-pull technique is whenever, especially when you're playing ghost notes, it's incredibly helpful, because a lot of guys, they'll play sloppy. Sloppy. Push-pull technique is when you're playing two notes with one downstroke. So. Essentially what happens is on the downstroke, you would hit and drop the finger so that as you're peeling back up, you would snap with the finger, and it would give you that extra hit. I wish I could teach that, but I'm still learning it. But it's so vital, especially when you're playing ghost notes, because it helps to make things so clear. So this push-pull technique. And that's a very over-exaggerated, because what ends up happening is it ends up turning like that. But it allows things to be so clear, and it allows you to do it without such an, almost like an effortless motion, especially when you're playing so. It almost looks like my hand's not moving at all, and because it makes things, anyways, it helps make things clear, Vital and important information, store it and start practicing that slowly but surely over the course of years. You'll finally start to get it. I'm not even there yet, but kind of vital. Now, this is kind of the first chunk of information that I'd like to give, because this is, I plan on this kind of being like the first video of a couple videos trying to explain this, because I don't even quite understand it yet. Not gonna lie, Tom, when you asked me, I was like, oh, I'm learning stuff, but I'm not quite to the point where I feel like I could teach groove. So, this is kind of my best shot. For me, the other thing is I'm not the one that I like to be, you know, I'm not an exact person, you know, when it comes to, oh, unless somebody says, hey, how did you do, then I might be like, okay, well, this is how I did the ba-doop-ba-doop-ba-doop. But other than that, even then, sometimes I'll just try to show the sticking, because a lot of times it's up to us as drummers to have the creative mind to put things wherever we want to put them. You can take something so simple as a paradiddle. Paradiddle, 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 paradiddle. You can do so many things with that. Put it in a groove. Put it in a roll. All I did was paradiddles. It's just sticking right, left, right, left, left, and you can do so many things with it. So, that's what I want to do. I am just going to simply show you kind of an outline, and then it's going to be up to you to play with it. It's going to be up to you to mess with it. This is, for me, what I go off a lot of times. If you can understand, as drummers, just depending on who's watching this video, if you don't know what quarter notes are, eighth notes, and 16th notes, it would all be within whatever your pulse is. So whatever your time is, so we're talking about 4 times here, so we're not going to get off that. So if you're playing 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. To make it eighth notes, you would count it as 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 1. If you're to count it 16th notes, you count like this. And 1E and a 2E and a 3E and a 4E and a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 1. That's quarter notes, eighth notes, 16th notes. I wish I could take time to explain those. I'm not going to. We're going to stick with eighth notes, with a quarter note pulse with our right hand. So the way I've always kind of advised to do this, I put a lesson, like a video, on my YouTube channel explaining, I believe it's bass drum or snare drum, but explaining the eighth notes, breaking it down, making it simple, because a lot of times people will be like, oh, well, I don't have the creative mind to just place things wherever I want to place them. Well, then don't. What I do is I simply take 8 notes and I place the bass drum on whichever one of those notes I want to place them on. Then I'll place the snare and I'll place them wherever I want to place them on. But right now we'll just start with the bass, for instance. What do I mean by that? Going with eighth notes with the quarter note pulse. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 1. Teaching yourself how to put the bass drum wherever you want to put them within that 8. That helps immensely. That helps because once you can train your mind to put the snare beat within those 8 and the bass drum within those 8 anywhere and put it into your subconscious, that's when you can really focus on making grooves for whichever song and being able to have a creative mind about it, because then your body's trained to say, oh, I know how to put my bass note wherever within these 8, and then my snare drum wherever within these 8. What do I mean by that? we'll make an example for it. Let's say we're going to put bass drum on 1, 2, and 6. Okay? 1, 2, and 6. We'll count it out. Count it out real slow. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then we're going to base this all off like a regular 4/4 drum beat, which that is snares on 3, bass drums on 1. 1, 2. We're going to base it off that. So we're going to keep that same bass drum pattern, and we're going to just continue to put snare on 3. Now we're going to put snare on 3. So if we go 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm sorry. Snare will be on 5 when you count it out like this. But if we're going to count it out as the off notes being ands, then the snare drum would be on 3. But if you count it out the full length to 8, then the snare drum is going to be on 5. Forgive me. I just made that really confusing, and I'm really sorry. If you count it out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, the snare drum is going to be on 5. If you count it out as 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and, snare drum is going to be on 3. Same place, it's just however you count it out. So we're going to count it out as 8, it'll be on 5. So here it goes. So we're going to put 1, 2, and 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Speed it up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Speed on me faster. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. All of a sudden, now it's catchy. All of a sudden, we just kind of made a catchy little groove there. And all we did was just simply get this 1, 2, and 6. You can put it on 1, 3, 5, and 7. It doesn't matter. Pick it, slowly count it out, and slowly build that speed. Slowly then make a different variation of it on 1, 4, 5, and 8 for the flip of it. And then just start slow, count it out slow, let this be your pulse, put the snare on 3, count it out. Once you start getting comfortable placing that wherever you want to place them, start adding in the snare and do the same exact method for the snare. Let's take, for instance, 1, 2, and 6 on the snare, and the bass drum will be just on 1. So ready? 1, 2, up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2. By the way, we kept that snare beat on 5 because we're going again off the very basic 4/4. That's why I put the snare on 5. Okay, anyway, going back. So it's 1, 2, and 6, but we have to add it on 5 anyways because that's going to be our snare count within a 4/4 group. Probably just made things more confusing there. Anyways, going back to what we're doing. So 1, 2, 5, and 6 because 5 is already added in there. Bass drum on 1. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. All right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3. So now the second part of this. Now that we've kind of we're working on that. Now we've split it up into 2 sections, making a combination between 1 through 8 on the snare and then 1 through 8 on the bass drum, trying to play them together. Basically, once you just start messing with that, mess with it, write it out, slowly count it out. It'll be amazing. It's a slow process. I don't want to think that this is a fast process, but this is kind of a broad, this is kind of like some homework it's like that 200 problem homework. It's all kind of repetitious, but not repetitious. The whole point is that you want to be able to get all that within your subconscious to the point where you don't think about it anymore. To the point where now when you listen to a song, what you feel can come out, or what you think should go can come out without you having to think, oh wait, guys, slow it down. I gotta be able to count it out, you know? The whole point is we drill that for a long time so that you can get it into your subconscious, so you don't have to think about it anymore. That's what we're gonna aim for. That's pretty much it for the first lesson, because that's kind of like the first step, but it's a broad step, and it's a large step. It's a large piece of meat that you're gonna be chewing on for quite some time, because I'm still doing it. But the whole point is you can help build on that. And truth is I don't want you to think that this is, okay, so this is all it goes to. Well, no. Sometimes all of a sudden when you break the rules, we were talking about it within the context of a 4/4 groove. That's with snare being on 5 and bass drum being on 1. That's as we're counting it out. I'm going to keep emphasizing that because some people are going to be like, but that's so confusing. Putting a snare drum on 5 is supposed to be on 3. So anyways, the whole point is that once you decide to break those rules and say, hey, I'm just going to have a pulse, and this is going to be my pulse, and I'm going to do whatever the flip I want to do with my right foot. All that was just kind of made up, but that's because it's kind of in my subconscious. Being able to tell my body, I'm going to put you wherever I want to put you, because I trained you to. That basically sums up this first lesson. And that basically, that's months and months of lots of hard homework. But once you get down the first few, your body will naturally start to learn to plug and chug and put things where they want to go. And then at that point, you can really start working on making songs. And then you kind of just speed it up, and you get whatever you want.